This is Irontrader, and this is the last call of the day. Take a look at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look at the old indexes, the Dow, S&P, and the old Nasdaq. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas, along with the EI report for crude oil. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Here we have Bitcoin daily and weekly chart. Now, you can see here we just have this sideways consolidation. Nothing really happening, but we're holding that 8-day. That's very, very key. 118,525. We lose that, we'll come to yesterday's low. We're looking at 117,715. It will come down to the bottom. You're looking at 117,305. We'll come to the bottom there. 116,275. And then we'll come to the bottom of that candle, 115,675. But this is what you're looking at right here is that 115,744. Now you can see here how this 21-day is actually now higher than the bottom of that candle, and it's above that gap and that fill very, very nicely. So that's going to provide very, very good support. Should be a nice all catch-all. Now, again, if that is lost, then what we do is we'll come to the top of there. You're looking at 114,380. There's your gap fill. Come to the top of that candle, 112,590. Come to the bottom there, 110,880. And then we'll be looking for that 110,576, and that is your 50 SMA. Right now here, looking very, very good. So what we want to watch on the upside is 119,740. And then we want to take a look here. The next level is 124.15. Then we'll be looking for that retest at 121,255. The box is still very, very much intact. Okay, see right there. There's the top of the box right there is 121.55, and right here is the bottom of the box at 115,635. Okay, so all I would do is just box it out. That's basically what we're trading here until she's going to break up or she's going to break down, one or the other. Okay, so that's pretty much what we have. Now here on the old weekly chart, well, as you'll see, we're holding it. We got a red candle, but you know we made a higher high this week. That's very nice. But what we're really doing is watching that 112.544 on a closing basis by Friday. And this 112,345. As long as we can hold those levels here, we're looking very, very good. RSI looking very, very strong. Green over red looking very, very good. Now, you can see here how the green crossed over, but then we just have pretty much a sideways action that can curl right back up. And we have a very, very strong RSI here. We just have consolidation like we had here, like we had here. So bottom line, what you really want to do is just trade this, okay? So I traded BITX. It was a really good trade today. It got as low as 62.40, high as 63.98. You can make some good money just trading this back and forth. That's all we're really doing. Now, I'm not taking any kind of a short trade on Bitcoin because I believe this is going to go much, much higher. We cracked that 123,615. Next level is 125,500, and then we can go to 130, 135, 140. Who knows where she can go? She can just rally right on up here. Okay, so right now, just trade this range until we break up above that box at that 121,255. Or we break below this key level here at that 115,635 level. Okay, let's take a look here at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now, what's really affecting a lot of this market is the Fed. Now, I told you, like, the Fed came out and they held the rate steady. Wow, what a shock. I've been telling you this for how many months now? They're not going to do nothing. They might look at it in September. But again, we'll have to see if they even make a cut in September. Maybe you just look at the evidence. Now, again, the economy here is growing at a 3% rate here, back where we were. You know, there's really no reason here to cut. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay, what really ruined a lot of this housing market here is these rates too low for too long. And, you know, I don't think you really need to do that. So let's just see how this is shaking out. Jobs number is good. Everything is looking very, very good here. So I think the Fed is doing absolutely the right thing. Okay, so let's just take a look here. Now we have the gold. It came right on down. I didn't trade no gold today. I was going to take a long, but we couldn't get above yesterday's high. 33.89. That's going to be top 33.89. Okay, so what we're always looking for is this candle right here, 33.89. Okay, if you can't get above it, you are not going higher. It's just that simple. Okay, so if we're going to get above that and start marching up, then I would jump into GLD and I take it right to that 34.51. But that's not what happened. Okay, so now on the upside here, we got to watch this 8-day. Okay, 33.75. And now we're below the 21-day, 33.56, and below that 50-day, 33.53. So your next level, if this keeps right on selling, is going to be bottom line right here. Bottom of the candle, 33.25. Retest down here at 33 flat. Okay, then again, if that's lost, we'll come right down here to the bottom there at 32.90, which is basically just that price channel. Then we come here at 32.66 and retest 32.50, and we have this 32.64 right above it at that 100 SMA. But right now, there's just nothing. We had that downtrending, gapped up, but could not break through the top of that candle. So it tells me don't take a trade. Sit on your hands. Okay, it's not worth it unless you're a long and short trader kind of a situation. All right, so upside here, we got to get a back above that 50, got to get back above the 21 day, and we got to get it back above that 8 day. That's 33.76. We have to get and close above this 33.89 before we can start hitting that 34.16, that 34.47, and that retest at 34.51, 34.68, and 34.76. But you have to get above this area. Okay, this is why I always say look to the left of the chart, because where it's been is where it's going before. But if you can't get through it, she's not going higher. Okay, now we look at over at the RSI here, 49 guys could go either way. We have sideways action. There's really nothing right here as for a guy who just trade long. Okay, now again, if you're a short trader, you could get a little bit shorty action. Wait till the futures open at 6 o'clock, and we're going to trade against today's candle. That's at 33.89 and 33.42 level. Okay, so that's what we're trading against. Now silver, she's coming off. Whew. I said respect this 21 day until it's down, because who says it's gonna came down? But when we look at this pattern right here, see this pole? We have this uptrend here. That's a bear flag. Okay, not the best bear flag, but it's a bear flag. Okay, that's just exactly what you got. Okay, just like what we had here. Wrong way there. Okay, so we look at this pattern right here. See this? We have the pole, couple notches, bull flag popped up. Right here, bear flag popping down. Okay, just that simple. So upside, got to reclaim that 21 day, 38.04. We get above that, we can look to today's high at 38.42. Then we have that 8 day at 38.80. We get above that, we just follow the candles. Okay, 39.52, 39.66, retest 39.91. Very, very simple. Now, on the downside here, what we're watching here so far today, made a low of 37.52 level. Okay, so that's pretty much, if you look at the top of this candle here, you're looking at 37.40. That's going to be your next level. Then what we do is we go to the left of the chart. We look at the top of that candle. It's 37.03. That's going to be your next level of support. And then we come down to the 50-day at 36.41. So always look to the left, like we do with the old gold. Same way with here. Okay, so the reason you do that is it breaks up. Okay, then has a sideways. But this is the candle that it broke up above. Okay, made a higher high. Okay, that's the thing. So now that becomes very good support. Same way with this. Okay, so we had that high as 37.33, went sideways, and then broke above it. Now that becomes support level. So you want to watch that. You want to watch that top of that candle, and then we want to watch that 50-day on the outside, downside. Upside, 21-day, 8-day, and then we can resume, maybe possible that. Okay, but here was the first tell. Okay, see this negative divergence? Negative divergence sold off. Again, the negative divergence, okay, sold off. Bear flag, now she's coming on down. But not only just the divergence, because you got to respect that 21-day, like I said, you got to respect that 21-day, but we have this bearish cross. See this? Where that green crosses over red, that shows momentum to the downside, and that's what's happening. Okay, so that's exactly what we have. Now we're below that 21-day, so now we're going to be searching for top of that candle, and then possibly that 50 SMA. Okay, let's take a look at the old crude and Natgas. Okay, here we have crude oil, here we have natural gas. Now you can see crude oil, very, very good run. I jumped back into UCO there today because we broke above this key level right here, that's 69.65. Now, see, this is why I always say the news, you listen to the news, but it's the reaction to it. At the end of this video, all the numbers for the EIA report for crude is posted. You had a build of over 7 million barrels. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. She's going higher. Okay? See that? Going higher. So it's reaction, not the news. So always, always remember that. Now, you can see here where we closed above this price channel at 69.76, and we're above that key level at 69.65. So the upside, what we're watching is 70.51. That was today's high. Then we'll come right to the bottom of this candle, 71.33. The bottom there, 72.32, 73.90, 74.27, 75.74, 77.49, 77.62, 78.40. Those are the upside targets. Now, it might just get up to there, fall right down. Might get up to there, fall right down. But these are your upside targets. Just follow the bottom, the top, and the closing number of the candles. That's all you have to do. That's how you trade candlesticks. Very, very easy. Now, on the downside, we're going to be watching this top of this candle. See this? 69.65. That's going to be very, very key. And then realistically, we're going to be watching that 200-day, 68.09. Right below it, you have 67.06, your 21-day, 66.77 your 8-day, and we have that 66.07 your 50-day, and then we have the 100-day, which is very strong. Look at here under resistance levels, very strong under resistance, okay? Broke through, but look how nice it held this as support. Right down to the 100-day, 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 100-day. Look at this. How many times did it hold? Okay, so now you got to respect it. See how that all shakes out. Okay, now we have a series of higher highs and higher lows here, which is always very good. Okay, and we only have an RSI of 61. That could go higher. We have a green over the red, which shows momentum to the upside, which is pretty obvious. Okay, so now if we start rallying up here, that'll negate this bear flag that I've been talking about, and we just go higher. Okay, so I don't have any opinion. Now, as far as crude oil, I'm a long and short trader. Okay, UCO for the long, SCO for the short. Gold, I only trade long, GLD. Silver, I only trade long, SLV. Natty gas, I go both ways on that bad boy. UNG for the long, KOLD for the short. Okay, let's take a look at natty gas. Well, you can see here, this 8-day. Okay, we were hovering yesterday. We went right into the old 8-day. Let me big it up a little bit for you, a little more clear. Went right into the 8-day, okay? Today, we went into the 8-day, could not hold it, and then she came right on down. So let's look at the downside, looking at 301. This is your next target, going to be right here, is going to be that 298. Now, if we start losing that 298 level, then we're going to be looking right to the bottom of this candle at 286. Okay, just that simple. Now, you spread that bad boy out here, right there. Okay, see, there's that 286 level. Then you can come all the way down. Look at this. All the way down to 187. Now, so I'm saying where it's going to go, but we got to see if it can hold that price channel at that 2.98. But you can see how strong that these resistant levels are with the 8-day. Okay, we put this downtrending, tweezer top, came on down, tried to rally into the 8-day, boom, down goes Frazier. Okay, so upside, we want to look at yesterday's low, okay, 68.45, and then we want to look at 68.45. What the hell am I talking about? I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, 3.10. That's what we're looking at. Okay, and then we want to look at the 8-day at 3.13. Okay, then we'll look at the high at 3.19. Then we can come up to the top of this candle here. You're looking at 3.26, and then we're looking at 3.31. That is going to be your 21 SMA. Okay, then we come to the bottom of the candle, 3.38 level, and then we'll be looking for the old 345, your 200-day, your 50-day. Okay, and then we have your 100-day. But right now, this is ass ugly. This is total downtrend. High, lower high, lower high, lower high. Looks lower, sideways even, but lower. Okay, now nowhere near oversold. Green below your red. I don't see anything here, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out. Now remember, the EU is going to be buying a pile of energy. I'm talking about 750 billion that these people agreed to. Okay, 750 billion in 3 years. Now that's not just crude oil. That's crude oil. That's natural gas, LNG. That's all that kind of stuff. Okay, so always remember that. Just because we're having a sell-off now here, it doesn't mean that's not going to go higher. So be a little bit patient, because this could also be a good buying opportunity as long as we hold this 86 level. Okay, 286 level. Now, at midday trading, I put seasonality charts on there. Do yourself a favor, check it out. It has everything on there: Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, crude oil, natural gas. Everything's right there and gives you the seasonality over a 20-year period. Do yourself a favor, check it out. Okay, let's take a look at the indexes here. Okay, here we have the Dow. Now, I've been pointing out here, see, negative divergence. Okay, we can't get up the schneid here. Okay, so we're below that 44, and we're below the 8-day. Next level here is going to be that 44, 524, but we're holding that 21-day. We lose that, we come right to the bottom. 44, 272. We'll come down to the bottom there. 44.02. Come here. We're looking at 43, 758. Then we're going to start heading right there for that 50-day. Okay. Possible 200-day sitting at 42.81. And then we have that gap and that fill. And then we have Hondo sitting down here at 42.192. So we got to see how that shakes out. Upside, well, right there. Okay. 45.16. You got to crack above that in order to go higher. But again, look at the seasonality charts. You have a good run, okay, until about the first week of August. Then you could just sell this right on up. Now remember, new month, new money comes in, but doesn't mean it stays in. Okay, they could come in on the short side too. Okay, so remember, trade, use stops, money in your pocket. That's how you make money. Consistent money, that's the key to trading. Otherwise, you'll be gone in no time. All right, big melt up going on here. 64.09, Okay, well, that could melt up. You can go 6,500. You go 66. They're predicting 6,700. Who knows? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Okay, downside 63.58. Got to watch that. Watch that 21 day. Watch the bottom of that candle, 62.01. And then we come down to the 50 day, 61.16. And then we have your gap, your fill, 200 day, and that old Hondo over here at 58.37. Now, this is not going to ride up forever. You're way overbought situation. Well, we've been overbought. Okay, but eventually this runs out of steam, and I think you're gonna be running out of steam here. Just give it a little time here, but watch August, September, beginning of October. Not good for stocks. Okay, unless you're a shorty, then she's great. Okay, Nasdaq made a new high yesterday, 21,303. Today, inside day. You know what I'm saying? So you got the 21,303. That could go 21,400, 21,500, 22,000. We don't know yet. We got to see how it all shakes out. But eventually, when you start making these new highs, eventually when that comes off, it's going to come off very hard. 21,066, watch that 8 day. Watch that 21 day. Watch that 50 day if she starts selling. Okay, gap, fill, 200 day, and Hondo over here. Okay, that's very, very easy. But these are big melt ups kind of situation, which is, to me, I have no problem with it because I'm a trader. I trade this. This is where you buy and you hold it. This is where you trade it. Buy and hold, trade. Okay? Buy and hold, trade. So we got to see how it all shakes out. But I told you about Powell. Okay? I knew he wasn't going to do anything. Maybe it's even just for spite because T-Man wants him to do it. Maybe he's saying, F you. I'm not doing it. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's what the Fed should be. Independent. Okay? The numbers are good. There's no reason to cut. Okay? Just as simple as that. I think you'll evaluate it in September and you'll see it is, but I don't think you're even going to get a cut in September. I think you might get one this fall. Goldman came out. I think they're talking about 5 cuts this year. I think they're full of shit. I don't think I think you'd be lucky to get 1 cut this year. Okay? If the economy keeps rolling, there's no reason to cut. It's just that simple. Okay? So that's what I got for you. Remember, trade the charts. Okay? Don't worry about all this news, all this noise. It doesn't mean nothing. Okay? Trade the charts. That's how you make money. And remember, after the close today, you got a couple of big timers. You got Qualcomm going on here. But realistically, the ones you want to watch is Microsoft and Meta. Okay? Get the news, but the reaction is what matters. All right. Thanks for watching.